right, welcome back, everybody, for another CBSI Hot 10 show. Make sure you go over to comicbookinvest.com and check out the article where I may drop a few extra details we don't cover on the show tonight. But otherwise, check out all of the content we have here on the channel. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. Go check out my toy channel, Toy Informer. And if you haven't given Whatnot a try, now's your chance. First-time users get $15 to spend on whatever you want, with whomever you want, no strings attached. You'll help out the channel, and you get yourself something for free. So with that all said, if you want to see this week's list, just hang out for a few seconds after the intro, and we will be right back.
Notable sales.
And our first book is a classic.
Recode Horror does it again. Mr. Mystery 12. Nice Bernard Bailey cover. You got a 3.0 that presents pretty well for a 3.0, I think. All-time high, $7,800. It's, you know, people like eye covers, things like that, where there's eye damage. Those pre-code horror books.
This has got to be a tough 3.0 because it's got a black cover on it, so you know you can tell at the spot. It's such a tough book because of the black.
I don't like eye stuff.
It looks great. It looks great for a 3.0.
It presents well.
If you love these types of covers but don't have the De Niro to purchase a Mr. Mystery 12. There is a reprint of this cover, the Sex, Drugs, and Violence in Comics from Pure Imagination in 2008. That's one of those books you can find around pretty cheap. Has this cover on it, so
yeah, because almost $8,000. That's a little bit out.
Yeah, this thing's really getting up there.
Out of my
it is an uncomfortable cover. I think all the uncomfortable covers kind of do pretty well. So
they do, and this does weird. Again, eye stuff always creeps me out.
Yeah, I can't deal with eye stuff. Somebody get this man a Visine or something.
Let's get a hot poker in the eye. Visine.
What's hot? This is what I don't understand. What's holding his eye open though?
Fear?
Nothing.
No, I know.
I guess he just wants to make sure. I don't know what
poke in the eye. I don't know.
Yeah, my eyes would be shut.
I'd be like, what? What are you doing here?
I don't know. But also, speaking of what are you doing? What are you people out there doing spending so much on newsstands? Because, man, look at this.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at Hulk 16 Newsstand. We covered a couple books on TAC, and the books were $3 books, but all of a sudden the newsstand prices on them were spiking also. This is a similar case here. Not a $3 book, mind you, but CGC 9.8 sold for $1,000, where the 9.8 direct, same time, sold for $162. I mean, the gapping difference in this is like, I don't know. It seems all out of pocket, but you see these spikes with newsstands. Somebody probably did a video or somebody hit up a group, and usually that's all it takes. You know, it's also, it always comes back again, right? This is the newsstand wave. We've seen it before.
The problem I have with the newsstand wave is the later newsstands, people see it, and then they equate that to all newsstands for some dumb reason.
Yeah, this is a later.
then you get a ripple effect to the older newsstands where you didn't have that type of ratio.
No, agreed. Well, I mean, the understanding of newsstands too, and I mean, the narrative around newsstands is a little convoluted. But my point is, whenever you start hearing the hype again, you're going to see this. It sounds like we're on that up wave for newsstands.
We do have a back issues episode where you guys kind of covered some newsstand.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we covered the history of it.
I'll link that below so people can check that out if they want a little more on newsstand.
Me and what's his name? Eric cover that. So we did that. We should probably do new.
But yeah, even that 162 was a jump up. Before this, that book was like $100, $80 in a 9.8 for like the last couple of months. So that's just a huge jump.
But if you see these later newsstand covers and boxes, grab them. DC, Marvel, grab those newsstands.
At this point, might as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it goes. It'll go up and down. So I mean, like what newbie down there is doing is pushing it to go up again, and then in about a year it'll start falling down, and then you'll come back and pick it back up again. So
just one of those things. But with that said, those are our notables for the week. So let's just get right into the actual list.
Number 10.
coming in off the outside looking in.
Superman 32. Previously can be found in 50-cent boxes. About a dozen or so sell, a couple of dozen sells, hitting $10 to $12. Don't pay $10 to $12 for this book. For my opinion, that is not Ulysses in the set photos. Move on. Come on, Ultraman or somebody else.
You'll see, it doesn't matter. It's still $1.
Hey, pick it up. Yeah, pick it up for $1. Try sell it for 10 to 12.
You can try.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. This is it. I mean, this is one of the books you're going to get this going through. It's good to see it happening for DC. This is what I've always gotten the heat for criticizing because it doesn't happen, and then people think I hate DC. That's not the truth. I just don't understand why this type of stuff isn't happening. Now you're seeing it with all these
clips of you hating DC, actually. No.
Yeah, well, whatever. But this is what you get to see. I mean, now you're starting to see it. You're starting to see it with the Gunn effect, whereas kind of what the Marvel effect used to be, and it's nice to see. Nice to see that these DC.
I'm just saying, I'm starting to get a little nervous about Gunn with some of the set photos I'm seeing. That's all I'm saying. Just saying.
I mean, it's gonna be yeah.
Yeah, Simple Jack is not doing it for me, and I love Nathan Fillion. But
I'm just glad there's some hype around Superman.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care about. Yeah, I don't care about that. I like the fact that people are hunting set photos right now.
I think it's. I like the fact there's more books now to kind of dig for. When you're digging, it's nice to have a handful of things in the head. That might catch your eye versus one or two.
I mean, it's always going to be like this thing's always a reach, but this is the fun reach where it's not costing people a ton of money.
No.
And plus, I think that drives down other stuff too. So like the average price of good books starts to pick up here, but they're like, why are these books spiking? Because they're garbage. Kind of falls down. So you get because the money has to go to these dollar books that they're throwing.
It shifts. So
it's nice.
We'll see. All right, let's see what we got next. See if we got something else to talk about.
Number 9.
We do. Hedgehog.
Yeah. So here we go. Sonic. We're trying to figure out who a character is. Is it a character? Is it not a character? Is it somebody we know? Is it somebody we don't? Sonic the Hedgehog, number 70, the 1 in 10. Not huge sales on this one, 20 plus sales, averaging $10 to $15 on the 1 in 10. I mean, I don't know. It's the same character that we've heard before. This one, though, presents a lot like Sonic.
Yeah, the Phantom Rider.
There was a Phantom Rider for the game who was a girl. This one doesn't seem to be. It seems to be like a duplicate of Sonic. The biggest guesses out there is it's probably going to be Shadow or Metal, which it probably will be, or something that we already know. But while this is going on, buy them and get rid of them, because when it reveals, the reveal is probably not going to be somebody we don't know.
Yeah. It's that typical every 6 months Sonic the Hedgehog 1 in 10 pop. It seems to happen.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and it's only around $15, so it's not setting the world on fire, but in an otherwise slower week.
Typically what you see with the Sonic book is the week before it has that 1 in 10 that sells for like $40, $50, $80.
Yeah.
And then the next week you get the 20 plus sales on the 1 in 10. This is more for Phantom Rider, but I just have a feeling like people are thinking it might be either kind of hedging their bets. If it is going to be a new character, which there was a Phantom Rider before, but it was a chick, and it was a lot different than this. So the name's the same, but it's a different character. So like we'll see what happens. Still,
I think also the presence of this newer character or not newer character being on the regular cover A undercuts the 1 in 10 a tiny bit too, because then you can get the regular. So
yeah, for sure.
But with that said, we'll take a look at what's next.
Number 8.
I thought this one would make it last week, but it's here this week.
That makes me happy. I'm happy to see books like this doing well. I like indies that are kind of growing organically, that didn't have a huge buzz behind them, that people are picking up, enjoying. Grommets number 2, the 1 in 10. We saw what the 1 in 10 was doing for issue 1, and issue 2 started to pick up too now.
Yeah, the 7-11 book.
Mm-hmm. So again, last week mostly $10. It was mostly a round ratio, but now you're starting to get some nice pops around $25, high 34. Like I said, people are enjoying this series. Hopefully, people stick with it. The way these indies kind of trail off sometimes in terms of interest in spec versus interest in story.
Correct me if I'm wrong,
story,
so there was the number one, which we're referring to as the 7-Eleven book, because it had like the 7-Eleven. It had the same trend as this one, right? When it came out, it wasn't like popping right away, and then like towards the weekend.
The 1 in 10 started a little slow. It was just like a little bit above ratio, and then a couple weeks later, that 1 in 10 became like a $40 book, and then hit as high as like $100.
Yeah, now, I mean, but
it's still like $40 for the 1 in 10 on the number one.
But I'm saying is like, and this one too, like when it came out, it was like half the week had gone by, and
I was checking it.
There wasn't a lot of it, and then towards the end, it was that's what I'm saying. Similar projection, maybe not as high as one. I didn't mean it got as high as $100.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It was the slower pop, because this, again, it came out on Wednesday, but first few days it was just ratio, and I was checking, but it wasn't until the weekend that we got a couple of sales. And we're not talking about a ton of volume yet either, but there's not a ton of volume available because it is a smaller indie book. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm just happy there's interest in the book. I like to see indies getting some traction with.
I'm just thinking about what 3's going to do though. Like it seems like it's done twice already. The same.
I think 3 we might see kind of like with the Blood Hunt. Well, because like orders will be up, and we've seen pictures. I think the 3 is it's pretty cool cover. There's like a
the Tim Barron exclusives
helmet or whatever.
So it might still go good.
We'll see. The Tim Barron exclusives start, I think, issue 3 through 7.
All right,
which are the really cool skate art.
Yeah, there's gonna be some cool stuff. So
that can't hurt. I mean, that can only help it. So watch out for number 3 coming out. Then, all right.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got for lucky number 7.
Number 7.
All right. The trailer may not have been setting the world on fire, but we did get a trailer for Hellboy, the Crooked Man, which it seems more like a low-budget horror movie than the last couple of Hellboy installments, but I'm interested. I know not everybody loving it, but this book, it popped when we knew they were adapting it. It hit as high as like $30 to $50. Then it went back down to like dollar bin kind of stuff. So it popping again to 15 to 20 is a nice little rebound, but still nowhere near where it once was. You can get the whole set of all 3 issues for like $35 to $50 too, if you're interested in reading this thing.
Yeah, that sounds fun. That's good. That's the kind of how we talked about newsstands. Like everything goes around, comes back around, right? I actually like that they're doing this one more low budget. I like the first Hellboy movie.
Yes,
the predecessors after that. Was it the first 2 that were good? I can't remember.
Yeah, the Guillermo del Toro ones were good.
Yeah, the del Toro ones were good. But then after that,
Harbors wasn't bad. It was a little goofy.
It wasn't good either.
No, but I still enjoyed it.
Even 2, but even with del Toro on the second one, it started to get a little.
The second one was for me was meh.
Yeah, the first one was good.
With the Golden Army?
I kind of do like that they're coming back.
Yeah,
I do kind of like that they're coming back with this and probably going to make it more campy anyways. So
I don't know. I like the fairy tale underground stuff. That was fine by me for the second one.
Del Toro does amazing monsters.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's his name? Davis did like all the monster creation for that movie, and he's a Michigan guy too. He used to do the comics actually for Hellboy, and then that's actually why him and Mike had a breakup, was because he started creating all the creatures for del Toro, and then he's like, you can either work for him or for me. I don't know. He went Hollywood, so either way, this should be good.
Yeah. But again,
the books are good.
Fine out there.
All the books are good. The books are fun.
Go out there looking, but let's see what we got next.
Number 6.
James Gunn does it again.
There he goes. The Gunn effect.
Terrific's number 1. With all the set photos, with the costumes, and everything going on with James Gunn this week. We got this book selling around average of $10 to $15, a high of $20, a CG98. So for $100, I know everybody doesn't like the costumes, but we'll see what happens with post-production and when the movie's actually filmed. So
the Mr. Terrific costume didn't look bad. It looks like what he wears. I'm just talking about
it's a leather jacket. You can't really script.
Yeah, I'm just talking about Guy Gardner.
Have you seen
Guy Gardner?
That Guy Gardner looks horrible, and I don't care what people say. Like it looks like they're making fun of that Guy Gardner. I mean, it just.
But Gunn tweeted about this, I think, and then also we know Metamorpho's in this movie. Yes. Terrific's in this movie.
We're getting
logical
Plastic Man one shot coming soon.
Yes, that we might get something out of this crew. Who knows?
Yeah, Simple Jack. That's what we're gonna get out of this crew.
I'm pretty sure the costumes will change towards the end of the movie. There's no
Yeah,
way they're gonna keep
no.
those. What is it? Maxwell Lord Corp uniforms
Yeah,
that they
we'll
have.
see. We'll see if they come out with some better looks, and maybe that's all it is. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe
Or
it's a
it's
story.
just
It's a plot.
Gun being gun.
No, it's good that they're leaking though, and it's good that's moving the needle and stuff.
Yeah,
so there
it's
you go.
getting people it's getting people talking.
Talking.
That's how about that? It's getting people talking, whether they love it or hate it. It's creating
Get some talk.
discussion.
You
and getting
can't
people
go wrong
excited.
with that. Yep.
Creating debate. But with that, let's see what we got in our top half.
Number 5.
Indie option coming in.
Yeah, this is actually picking up steam. Vicious Circle 1. Beautiful Lieber Mayhew work on the covers of this and artwork. Apparently Ryan Coogler's attached to the project now from Black Panther and Creed fame. I believe it's through Universal. So there's some names attached, and hopefully it picks up steam. It's a fun series. Now, granted, I will let you know they are not comic size; they are oversized,
big size. Yep.
But it's an interesting series. You basically have an assassin from the future, and he's trying to hunt down somebody else who has a similar power to him. That when you kill somebody, you get bounced through time. So this series takes place all over through different eras, past and future. So it's interesting. Lieber Mayhew is an insanely amazing artist. So this is just a great series to buy to read, regardless of the option. And average sales $15. I mean, it's reasonable. It's picking up.
I mean, it's $10 cover to start with, so 15 is not a huge price jump yet, but a lot of volume. People getting on board early, and there's incentives. There's
like I said, there's a nice second print. There's a nice
Don't get bit by the Velociraptor. First Velociraptor on the Boom Studio cover. Next to the thing.
But no, it's a fun book. It's a nice book, and it's a little bump in the price.
Yeah.
But
well, it's a start. We'll see if it keeps continuing or if it.
If Coogler stays attached, I think that it could pick up some heat because that is a pretty big name attached to a project.
That is true. That is true.
Well, yeah, I mean, but this is one too that's probably going to drop in the future and then come back up if he stays. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Yeah, it's possible.
We'll see.
But yeah, let's see what we got next.
Number 4.
Well, speaking of dropping a little bit, dropping from number 1 last week down to number 4, we have Proof again.
Proof
Indie book getting made into something.
Yep.
Averages up still. Last week it was averaging $50. Now the average is like 65. So it's still selling pretty consistently in the volumes. Again, a couple dozen sales doesn't seem like a lot, but there's not a ton of these out there. It's not like there's hundreds and hundreds of copies listed. The volume is what it is, and it's still selling pretty well. And surprisingly, this and the Negative Burn. The Negative Burn's doing all right, but this has a little bit of a higher.
I think people settled on this one as the one to get for the option is. Yeah.
Yep.
Regardless of the true first and all that first,
saying true first is stupid. This is. I mean, it's the book that buys stuff.
It showed up in the other
True
book first. What wasn't called the
True cameo guard.
It is what it is.
So that's not a true first if it's not called it. I mean, like that's not a first. Whatever, man.
It is, but I mean, again, this is
the same character.
They cover. The Negative Burn is not a recognizable cover for this character. This is very easy to see. Oh, Proof, number 1.
Yeah, we're not talking about like the whole Hellboy thing where it's like it doesn't even look like Hellboy.
Oh yeah.
No, it's not like that. It's just
no. I get what you're saying, but like this is what it is. This is what the people chose, like it or not. It's the first. Yeah. It's the true first now.
And it's an option. It's an option news spec, so you know how that goes.
It's number 1.
Yeah, those don't have the longest lifespan, so
that is also true. But let's see what we got in our top 3.
Number 3.
Well, I'm repeating going back to back because we got another repeat on the list. On the list last week we had Detective Comics 1086, the Sebastian Fuyamara. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but
Tomorrow.
it's doing all right, which is why it's moved up a couple of spots from last week, where we only had a couple of sales that were above ratio. This week, the average is about $45. Yeah, still hitting those highs of 60, but there's just a little bit more volume than there was previously. So average is up, volumes are up. People are leaning into some of these DC incentives because I think Marvel is just not giving us a lot to work with lately.
That's a nice, comfortable price for a ratio.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Where it's settled. It's not that crazy $300 for a 1 in 25 or something crazy. That's a nice, comfortable pop.
And
Some of
it's
these
a unique
things-
Batman cover. So
People seem to be being more cautious lately with some of these incentives where that first week they're only right around ratio, and then I don't know if it's talking heads pushing things that
once
then
something
people
gets
start
like sold
chasing them or
out,
what, but
yeah.
later
If you
they're starting to come up a little bit later.
No, but
because,
that's how it should be. That's a good market. Like if it's as it starts to sell, all of a sudden people start to get a little bit more excited about it, and maybe that seems more of a natural non-push. And I mean, just because somebody mentions a book doesn't mean that's like a pump, right? Like
no, not
like you
saying
could
that.
say you like a book, but like, oh, hey, cool, I got this. People start to see it. People start to buy it. Yeah, I mean that's perfectly fine.
And when people can't get their hands on it.
Yeah,
You know,
I think you're seeing
when a book gets a little bit of buzz right when it comes out or right before it comes out, and then all of a sudden, you know, you go to Midtown or wherever, and you see, oh, it's sold out. I can't get it here. And then you know, people pay.
Yeah, you tell people not to get FOMO, and they're not. It doesn't seem like they are. It seems like they're the market's pretty stable on that point. So
yeah, and pre-release and day of release, Midtown had this book for $9.
Yeah. And that's
Nice
that's the other good point. It's some of the pre-sale hype of a lot of the incentives is easing up, so there's not so much FOMO before the book's even out. Like, oh my god, we're paying triple ratio before the book's even out.
Absolutely.
That's kind of easing back a little bit lately, which I think is a good thing. That is a good thing.
Kind of. I mean, I still hope you get FOMO because it's easier to sell you garbage.
Don't worry. Those second print, black and white, 1 in 25s are coming from Waffle.
They get you every time.
$80.
All right,
$80. You better give it 120 if you want it. Come on.
We still got 2 more books to talk about.
Oh, we do.
Number 2.
And our number 2 followed a similar path.
We got Action Comics 1066, the 1 in 25, Mark Spears. Little Lobo Dining.
Lobo.
We got last week was $25. This week is averaging 50 with a high of 70. Oof. Don't get too many Lobo incentive cover. It's a cool cover. A lot of detail on this cover.
Yeah, I like Spears. I think he's doing a series for Keenspot, Monster series. It has some cool covers on.
I don't know. This cover's cool as shit.
Yeah,
it is. But there's one thing I really, really dislike, and that's his hair. He looks like a troll.
Yeah, you take him to bingo with
the hair.
Take him to bingo with you. Put him on the table.
He looks like he belongs in the latest troll movie. That's the thing. That
I like the troll movies.
Okay, the last 2 minutes of this conversation, just none of it. You can cut all that. Like you control his hair. Get out of here. It's a cool cover. Nobody cares. It's a cool cover. The alien in the background, sweet.
Care. Like you're not getting my $70.
Yeah, well, you should have bought it when it wasn't $70.
It's $18.
The point being, this is another late bloomer. I looked at it last week. It was only around a ratio, as we went into the weekend, and now it's grown over time. So over the last week, it's where it's at. So.
And people like cool Lobo covers.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. I would buy it.
You can have it. I just don't like the troll
for $70. Well, I think it's like in space. I mean, I don't know, man.
All right, we got one
weirdos.
More for you. Let's see what our top book is.
Weirdos.
And our number 1.
Another familiar face.
Yeah, from last week, we're repeat. Number 1 is Moon Knight again. Moon Knight 0. This is the 1 per store-ish, maybe kind of some stores, yes.
Yeah, 1 per account. Let's go with account.
1 per account, and some no, whatever. 100 plus sales this week, averaging 45. Maybe the average isn't as high, but sales are way up. High as 150. And also the book came out this week too, right? Yeah. And it's just not good. The insides are hold on, let me take that back. If you've never read Moon Knight before in your life and know absolutely nothing about the character,
Moon Knight?
Yeah. The book's
Not
for
just
you.
that. If you're not keeping up with the current storylines,
Bro,
either, this
you didn't have to keep up that. If you know absolutely nothing about Moon Knight, this is the
yeah,
book
but
for you.
if you know, it's only the recent run that gives you the Midnight Mission and Hunter's Moon. Like that's the last volume. Like so.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
but they were explaining who
and
they
stuff.
were explaining who Mark Spector was.
Yeah.
I mean, the first 3/4 of the book only explains exactly that.
Yeah,
Spoiler for people that didn't read Blood Hunt 2 weeks ago. Mark Spector's back as Moon Knight. So yeah. So then they're just telling you who he is.
never takes long. Never takes long.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
he was gone for what? 3 weeks? A month?
No, it was,
Well, the end of the one series.
I don't know
seemed-
how many
it's-
issues of Vengeance of Moon Knight have there been? No, he was. You know what? It was last year. So
was it last year? Was that long?
yeah,
It just
it was
seems like
in
the
fall,
other
I
day.
think.
No,
it was in the
they-
fall because
They
January
confirmed the
was
death and
start.
Vengeance when it started, and then they
Yeah.
dragged it on a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, everybody stopped reading it. So
Yeah.
probably after 4 books, nobody read it. And then, so that's why I see
This again, this was on the list last week because last week this was selling for a crap load more, but there weren't that many sales because
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of stores actually got their freebie yet.
Nope.
I think the freebie came late, coming this week because there's a ton. Look at the volumes; like people got it eventually.
This
It
will be
does
a
very
weird
much
book
seem
to
like a
watch.
preview book.
This will be a weird book to watch though, because you get this issue 0, then you have this gap until October till the actual series starts.
Yep.
And
Plus,
a
this
pretty
book
large-
is
that's a pretty
really
long
just,
gap, and
it's a preview book. Well, that, I mean,
it is.
that's why I
technically.
think it like, that's kind of what I'm saying is like, with that gap, it's not like it's a storyline, that it's a preview book, I guess,
Yeah.
at best.
Yeah. It is like insides are more like something you would get for free to kind of catch you up before the next Marvel event.
That's
Like
what
this
I'm
is the
saying, yeah.
issue they would give you for free. So anyway,
But
it's
it's
still
selling.
selling well, and it's polybagged for all you polybag lovers out there.
Said nobody ever.
Yeah. It is what it is. But stick around because the boys will be up next, coming live with the qualified and some
Live at 5.
yeah,
patrioticness.
little post 4th of July look at covers.
Very
Some-
patriotic group of books you got there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll cover everything from the propaganda ages to the more patriotic ages to the.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of good.
I tried
propaganda
to
books.
share my old Vintage Voyage deck that had patriotic coverage with Joe, and I was like, it's got like 100 books in there from the gold.
And I have a lot of those in there, and more, because the Golden Age is always the best for pulling patriotic type covers. But unfortunately, around the World War II era, we have to be a little careful of what we post on our pictures.
That's also true.
For some of those. So we try to call out a nice little collection for y'all. So
Well, there you go.
it'll be fun.
But yep, that'll be starting next, and then we'll see you back with a new list next week. All right. See you all later.
Later.